And if they want to call him a glazer or something, they can lick my balls and lick his after. I prefer they lick mine first.
If you're offended by the word loser, that's you.
It's unfortunate they were born from their father's ass. It's unfortunate they bumped their head when they fell out of their father's ass.
Because what I have to say is factual, and you guys...
It's not factual.
So you guys, let me tell you why I don't... Would I like to get free money from this guy? Yeah, sure. Would I pay me money for...
But Sean, when I just asked you, hey, have a conversation...
Well, you asked me why I called you a scumbag.
So low IQ that they're literally... That's the psychological term that was used for those people for 100 years before political correctness.
Well guys, it looks like that we are back yet again, and we have an AMU character today that we have not talked about for quite some time. And it has actually been a couple of months since the last time we even discussed this downright goober. And it has been so long, mainly just due to me forgetting that he existed, up until he decided that he was gonna at me in a couple of his YouTube shorts. Probably because he didn't like my old video very much. So with that being said, the man that we'll actually be discussing has a name that should immediately be throwing up some red flags when it comes to the online guru coaching sphere, because he goes by Derek Moneyberg on pretty much everything. And I have really got to say that Derek here is really quite the character, and he takes being an online guru to a completely different level, because the last time that we did actually discuss him, it was basically only an introduction video. But in that very short introduction video, we covered a variety of different goofy ass topics that all have to do with this guy. And we discussed how he not only is selling what I can only perceive myself to be some very shady courses that are known as the 10 Commandments of Wealth, but we also discussed how it appears that he tried to hit another YouTuber with a slap lawsuit, which it seems he ended up losing pretty horribly, and it seems that it was all due to the fact that the YouTuber said something that hurt Moneyberg's feelings. And along with these two things right here, we also went ahead and discussed his tactics when it comes to selling the 10 Commandments of Wealth, which is to basically bring as many UFC fighters and related partners with the UFC on as he possibly can, and he just uses them to sell these courses. And in that last video, when we were discussing this, we also discussed how many people online believe that he's paying these fighters just to basically say good things, since they don't make much money at all with the UFC, and how it all seems to just be very grifty. Now, I can't say whether that is true or is 100% correct, but I can see where people do get this sentiment, because in my last video, we did see some very awkward moments between Moneyberg and a fighter, and it really did look like that guy did not want to be there, and that he might possibly just be waiting to collect a check.
Another painting of myself, because I like those sort of things.
Oh yeah, that one's nice. That one's slick.
This bag is a couple 100 pounds. We got a little Moneyberg logos on it. I think a leg kick got a little power in it. Probably don't feel good.
Oh, that's a nice bag. So here you have your body composition machine, I take it?
That's why I stay so beautiful.
Okay.
I think it's a great luxury that you control the temperature, no music, nobody's in there. You don't got to smell somebody's fart. You ain't got to smell some dude with bad body odor.
And then you got your MMA, your combat room, and then you have your room where you're physically just getting it stronger. Yeah.
So as you can already tell, this guy is a straight up goober in general, and he has been continuing his very goober-like behavior, and has been involving the different UFC fighters in it as well, because he is still not only having them pushing his courses at pretty much all cost, while he's having his little Cyber Monday sale for the 10 Commandments of Wealth.
When I have questions about business or investing, you know who I hit up? I hit up my good friend and mentor, Derek Moneyberg. So if you guys are serious about building your wealth, you guys go follow and learn and get mentored by the one and only Derek Moneyberg.
But when he's not trying to get these courses pretty much pumped out, his goofy-ass behavior has also involved him claiming that he is 7% body fat, which is just not the case whatsoever, especially when people are calling you Jabba the Hutt, but have also involved podcasts like this one right here, where we have two men wearing 6 watches. And it is one thing to have a watch on each arm. At that point, you're just trying to be a dickhead to flex. But to have 2 fucking watches on both arms is just some complete completely different ass work. And even though all of this is just goofy enough, there was one thing that we discussed in my last video that really took the cake when it came to this guy being one goofy ass dude. And that was the fact that he claimed to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, which is already crazy when you're looking at how this guy is built and how old he is. But on top of that, he claimed to do it in record time and had the audacity to state that it only took him 3.5 years. And if you didn't know, it takes most people on average 8 to 12 years, and the minimum is 5.5 years. So we have obese Ben Franklin here claiming to have done this shit at around the same pace as BJ Penn. So naturally, when we last talked about it, nobody was believing this, and it put even more doubt into his already shady backstory and his already very shady looking courses, in my opinion. And it seems that Moneyberg's ego just couldn't handle it, because when we did discuss it, he was defending his belt claims at all costs, and was doing everything except posting footage of him actually going around and rolling with people. And the only footage that he did have out that we saw was him rolling around in slow fucking motion and didn't really show a whole lot. But it seems that that trend has been continuing and has been ramping up of him just going crazy trying to defend these black belt claims. And I don't really give a shit if he actually got the black belt or not, but I do find it really funny how stupid this entire thing has gotten, because it's led to him posting shorts like these right here where he's just talking some mad shit, and you could just tell that he was mad as hell.
Would it be easier for me to bribe 50 professional fighters, 25 or so world champions? Would it be easier for me to bribe those people to lie about me? Or would it be easier for me to just do the training and get my black belt? So I mean, anybody that really believes that, it's like, it's unfortunate they were born from their father's ass. It's unfortunate they bumped their head when they fell out of their father's ass. And you know, some people could have been born could have had a head trauma when he fell out of his father's ass. I don't know which, I'll never know. It could be both, but that's idiot. Because the 50% that are in the lower half that I'm talking about, you know, some of them are so low IQ that they're literally that's the psychological term that was used for those people for 100 years before political correctness. So yeah, it just so happens to be that there are some some of them are involved in the BJJ community, and a lot of them don't do shit. A lot of them aren't fighters. They haven't trained a day in their life, but they have a lot of opinions on the internet. Apparently, they think I'm supposed to give a shit about their opinions, and I kind of don't.
These fans better get their shit together. I don't want to see no hate towards Derek Moneyberg, because he's a valid human being living by a code that some of y'all just need to get into. Y'all need a code.
They'll say on the internet, like, fighters should make more money. You know, this company don't pay them enough. That company don't pay them enough. Fighters should make more money. I paid my coaches about $3 million, maybe more. There's very few people that have done more for me, more than I have, to support the fighters and support what you guys do. And, you know, if we on the internet want to talk about that, okay, man. But they're not invited to the gym. They're not sitting in the Rolls Royce with me. If Mike Perry comes to Chicago, he's going to sit in the Rolls Royce with me. And if they want to call him a glazer or something, they can lick my balls and, you know, and lick his after. I prefer they lick mine first.
Oh my
I feel
God.
more awkward being the second person, but I invite those to lick my ball sack.
So as I am sure you can tell, Moneyberg is just not happy about people not believing that he got this black belt in record time, and by doing it in a time that competes with people like BJ Penn. And I mean, I don't know for sure, but that couple million that he was talking about and the different advantages like sitting in his Rolls Royce may have been incentives for him getting the belt claim so soon. Now, I can't prove that, but I mean, seems like a good coincidence. And all of this black belt stupidity and goofiness just continued to escalate in the time that we weren't covering him, because people like Sean Strickland have also decided to get involved with this, and Sean ended up making a post basically calling Moneyberg out, and naturally, Moneyberg had responded with his very own little post.
So guys, somebody sent that to me, and I was like, well, dude, how much do you pay you? And like, or I thought it'd be a lot more money. But dude, you're a fucking con artist. Like, for years to get your black belt, you pay these ex-champions to sit there and they look purposeful the entire time. And you like peddle your like discipline and this and that. You bought a black belt. And the fact that you can even hold that up and said, I got this in 3 years is embarrassing. And it just shows how much of a fraudulent human being you are. And you guys got to be careful, man, especially when you see them like guys will pay guys and sit by them and they try to sell you a product. You are a fraudulent man. You are a con artist. These guys, beware of people like this. They're fraudulent.
Sean doubts that, we can, I'd be happy to do 5 minutes with Sean. I don't mean to disrespect him, except I was disappointed with a couple of comments he made. But I think he's either lying or delusional, that if he thinks he can tap me in 5 minutes, he's either lying to himself and or lying to the public, or he's very delusional, and I love that challenge.
So I cannot believe that I'm about to say this, but we have the former middleweight champion of the UFC and goofy-ass Derek Moneyberg basically having this beef because of the actions that Derek has been taking by using UFC fighters to sell his courses. And this little back and forth actually kept escalating and building up until they ended up seeing each other in person, where Sean started filming, I'm assuming so that Derek Moneyberg doesn't try to sue him or pull some type of bullshit, since as I said, it seems that he is very lawsuit happy in general in my opinion. And it was just such a goofy ass interaction. Like, this is some goofy shit that we have not seen in the AMU before.
Crazy enough, guys. Look who I ran into. This guy's real big, real jacked. And he says, why do I call him a scumbag on the internet? This is why I asked. And again, you could say...
So you got to do that for camera. You can't have a private conversation like an adult. You can only do things for the internet. You can't have a private
Because what I have to say is factual. And you guys...
It's not factual.
So you guys, let me tell you why I don't... Would I like to get free money from this guy? Yeah, sure, dude. Would I pay me money for...
But Sean, when I just asked you, hey, you have a conversation...
Well, you asked me why I called you a scumbag.
Then you need to have your camera. You can only talk on the internet.
But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I called you a scumbag.
Only on the internet.
But I'll tell you why I called you a scumbag.
You're the one being the fucking scumbag right now.
No, I'll tell you why.
I'm saying it to your face.
I'll tell you why.
You're the one being the fucking scumbag right now.
I love my fans more than anything, you guys. And would I love to go take free money from this guy and peddle? Yeah, I would. Would I love to make free money from this guy? I would. I absolutely fucking would. I fucking would love to. But this man takes advantage of low-paid UFC fighters who are great men, who are just trying to make their mortgage and live a life. And he takes advantage of these men, and he uses their platform to peddle financial scams, and he sues people. And what he does is so dishonest and so scummy that, no, I will not. Just because you're nice and you shake my hand and you say you're my buddy, no. You are a fraud. You are dishonest. You fraud people. This is why you don't want to be on camera, because you know everything I say is true. You've sued your people. I will never peddle his shit to you guys, because I love you guys, man.
And yeah, so basically, Strickland was calling him out for what he saw when it came to the different UFC guys and all of the bullshit that's been going on. And again, I don't know if that's 100% factual, and I can't prove anything, but it does appear that he might be correct. And good old beast Ben Franklin here just ended up running off because he obviously didn't want to be on camera. And I don't blame Strickland for wanting to film this entire interaction, because this guy seems like a goober who might want to pull some shit if he's not being documented and filmed. And it only served to escalate the little beef even further, all over this stupid ass black belt claim. A black belt, keep in mind, that the motherfucker apparently doesn't even know how to tie correctly. Like, this is some of the dumbest shit that I've ever seen, and it only keeps getting dumber. Because after this, Moneyberg then proceeded to continue to talk about Sean Strickland, while making claims in between, saying that he didn't want to talk about it, before going on every podcast that he possibly could to sit there and talk about the situation. And in it, he even tries to claim that Sean Strickland is scared of him, which I really do not think is the case. The only thing he might be scared of is either beating the shit out of him and getting a lawsuit, or just getting a lawsuit in general for no reason. But it's all just so damn stupid.
Yeah, and then on the internet, there's like, Sean Strickland confronted Derek Moneyberg. Like, that's not true. I go see the guy, and I see him in the lobby. I say, Sean, take a minute to come talk with me. And he kind of, we can talk at the gym tomorrow. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I fly tomorrow. But I'd appreciate it if you take a minute to come talk with me. We walk away a few feet, and we have a real conversation for 90 seconds maybe. I say, I'm going to go back to the gym in an hour. Yeah. If you believe that stuff, we can train together tonight. You kind of head down, look away if you don't want to make eye contact. So then I said, Sean, I don't think you even believe what you're saying. But if you believe that, then do a grappling match with me. We'll do a public grappling match. I said, you can't tap me. You're not going to tap me in a grappling match. We walk to the elevator. He takes the phone out when we're by the elevator, totally changes the persona, and now he's a tough guy on camera. He's not a tough guy. He's just a bully.
Sean Strickland said a bunch of shit, and he is... I don't think there's another professional fighter that talked bad.
I haven't seen one.
He never trained with me, at the time he started talking shit, he never trained with me ever. He never met me face to face. And I met him in person since then. And I say, take the time to meet me. Take the time to talk to me. Like, why do you say these things? You don't even know me. And then Jake Shields talked to him, face to face and tell him, like, bro, that's not true. Like, you think I gave him a fake belt? Like, I would not do that, And then he keep talking shit. So I said, if you think this is bullshit, come train with me. Like, respectfully. Like, I'm not challenging him. I don't disrespect him. I don't say a bad word. So come train with me and see.
And it's grappling. Really, no one's going to really get hurt. It's not like punching in the face, knees, elbows. Just like, come grapple and tell me what's up.
Yeah, come see. And anyway, he don't want to do that. So I say, all right. So you just want to talk shit, bro. So all you want to do is talk shit. So you don't want to talk to me. You will not sit here and talk with me. You won't come train with me. I'm going back to the gym at 7. Come back with me. We go to the gym. We train together. Come see.
So obviously, the situation is living in Moneyberg's head completely rent-free, and he's going on, I shit you not, every podcast that he possibly can to where he talks about this at some point for a decent amount of time. And all of it appears to have led to a lawsuit by Moneyberg on Sean Strickland. Which, I mean, who would have saw that shit coming? Since, as I said, it appears to me that the guy is just lawsuit hungry if there is any type of criticism thrown at him.
When you were in Connecticut, you had a little run-in with Sean Strickland, a little vocal. I know, publicly you made an announcement that you was going to court and stuff like that. How is that going right now? I'm not asking for anything, sensitive, if you will, but what's going on with that?
Sean's been served legal paper. Sean's been served legal notice. But I got my belt.
And to me it looks like just another one of his little slap suits. And is all just more stupidity. But I think this is where we're going to go ahead and end our update on good old Derek Moneyberg for today. Because that kind of completes the timeline of where he's at with his whole little belt situation. And his whole little beef with Sean Strickland. And again, it's as goofy as it gets. And these different alpha male universe characters always just find a way to embarrass themselves however they can. But with that said, I think I'm done here. So if you enjoyed, please drop a sub and a like, and join the Saints Mafia where we are staying on all of these goobers' heads. And I'm out. Watching Moneyberg yet again try to sue someone. In peace.
For some reason, Sean decided to say a lot of things about me that are not true. He can have whatever opinion he wants about a black belt. I said, come train with me then. I said, I've been to your gym several times. I know the owner. I know your coach. I know a lot of people on the team over there to train at that gym. I said, I'd be happy to come train with you. I asked him different times to do an interview with me. And he just wants to talk on the internet, it seems. That's my impression, is that he says a lot of bullshit on the internet, but when I'm standing face to face with him, he don't want to have a conversation. When I'm 2 feet away from him, he don't want to have a conversation. When I'm training at Glover Teixeira's gym and he's there, he didn't show up at the gym for 2 days because, in my opinion, because I was there, he don't want to. And I said, hey, I'm going back to the gym in an hour. If you believe that shit, come roll with me in an hour. We'll go to the gym together.